We all kind of take it for granted. The past is the past. It happened, it's done, it's over. We can remember it, sure, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's just gone. That's just common sense, isn't it? But what if I told you that according to the fundamental laws of physics, that simple, common sense idea is completely and utterly wrong? And I'm not talking just a little bit wrong. I mean fundamentally, foundationally, throw out what you thought you knew wrong. To really get why, we have to challenge one of the most basic things we think we understand. Okay, let's dive right in. And you don't have to take my word for it. Albert Einstein himself framed the problem perfectly. He said, "Our whole feeling of time flowing from past to future is nothing more than a stubbornly persistent illusion." He pointed out the problem, and we're going to follow another titan of physics, Richard Feynman, to see just how deep this illusion goes. So, what is this great illusion we're all living in? Well, we tend to picture time like a river, right? It's flowing in one direction, carrying us along from a past that's vanished behind us toward a future that hasn't even been written yet. But here's the thing. In the actual mathematics that describe our universe in real physics, time doesn't flow at all. It just exists. All of it. The past, the present, and the future are all equally real, all just parts of one enormous structure. To really wrap your head around this, you have to stop thinking about time as one thing and space as another. See, physicists don't. They think of a single, unified, four-dimensional map called space-time. Think about it like this. If you're in London, you don't for a second think that New York has just ceased to exist. Of course not. It's just another location on the map of space. Well, physics tells us that time works the exact same way. Yesterday isn't gone. It's just another location in space-time. It's still there, you're just not at that particular coordinate anymore. This whole idea has a name, and it's called the block universe. It suggests that every single moment that has ever happened and ever will happen is already a permanent fixture in this giant, four-dimensional block. Your birth, you listening to this right now, and the distant future, they're all equally real parts of the map. So get this, your entire existence, from the moment you were born to the moment you'll die, can be seen as a kind of four-dimensional worm that stretches through this block of space-time. At any given moment, your consciousness is only experiencing one tiny, three-dimensional slice of that worm. And that slice, that's what you call the present. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Okay, fine. If the past is still there, like New York is still there, then why can't we just go back to it? Why do we only remember the past and not the future? Right. This feeling of a one-way street, this is what physicists call the arrow of time. And the reason for it, believe it or not, isn't found in the most fundamental laws of the universe. No. It's found in something much more familiar, statistics. I want you to meet a concept called entropy. All it is really is a measure of disorder or randomness. And the second law of thermodynamics, one of the most solid laws in all of science, says that in a closed system, like, our entire universe, things will always tend to get more disordered over time. It's pretty much the only physical law that seems to care which way time is pointing. Just look at this box of gas. It's way, way more probable that all the gas molecules will spread out randomly to fill the whole box than it is for them to all spontaneously gather themselves back up neatly into one little corner. And it's this natural statistical march from order to disorder that we experience as the forward flow of time. And this is so important to get. It's all about probability, not some ironclad rule. The basic laws of physics that govern each of those individual molecules. They couldn't care less if time is running forward or backward. Our arrow of time is just a trend that emerges from the crowd. It's not a fundamental rule of reality. So, while entropy explains our perception of time's arrow, the physicist Richard Feynman discovered something even more bizarre, even more profound, happening at the fundamental level. Down in the wild world of quantum mechanics, time isn't just a one-way street. Not at all. Okay, first, a super quick definition so we're on the same page. For pretty much every particle, there's a corresponding antiparticle. It has the same mass, but the opposite electrical charge. So for the negatively charged electron, its antiparticle is the positively charged positron. Simple enough? And here is Feynman's absolutely mind-bending insight. He realized that the mathematics describing a positron moving forward in time was completely 100% identical to the math for a regular electron moving backward in time. To physics, they are the exact same thing. Let that sink in for a second. And please don't think this is just some cute mathematical trick or a clever analogy. It's not. This idea is the literal foundation of Feynman diagrams, the tools that physicists use to calculate everything about how particles interact. Without including particles traveling backward in time, the most precise, most successful theory in the history of science, quantum electrodynamics, it just flat out doesn't work. Okay, let's pull all of this together. Let's take a step back from the weird quantum world and ask, what does all this strange physics actually mean for us, for our lives, and for our past? So we've seen three huge ideas that completely shatter our everyday view of time. First, the block universe, which tells us time is a physical dimension, just like space. Second, entropy, which shows our arrow of time is just a statistical trend towards messiness. And third, Feynman's work, which reveals that on a fundamental level, movement backward in time is physically real. Now, on a day-to-day level, no, you can't hop in a time machine and change things. But on a much deeper, more profound level, this changes absolutely everything about how we can view our own lives and our experiences. It means that every single moment you have ever lived is not gone. It hasn't vanished into nothingness. Your greatest triumphs, your most embarrassing failures, the feeling of your first love, they aren't just fuzzy memories. They are permanent, real events, physically etched into the four-dimensional structure of the universe. And if you still think this all just sounds like some philosophical speculation, remember this one number. 11. The theory that is built on Feynman's backward-in-time particles, it makes predictions about the real world that are accurate to an incredible 11 decimal places. It is the most precisely tested theory in all of human history. So the next time you look back on your past, just remember this. It isn't gone. It's a real place in the cosmos. Nothing you've ever been through, nothing you've ever felt, is ever truly lost. It all exists eternally, woven right into the very fabric of space-time. And that isn't just a nice thought, that's...
Please subscribe for new updates.